Hey guys, what is going on, RedMaster, and welcome back to an episode of Cards and Castles TV Commentary, where today we are, of course, if you guys don't already know what the series is about, we're going to go ahead and jump into some Cards TV matches, see what's going on, see what kind of decks are running around on ladder, and just kind of have some fun with it. So, again, not much of an intro, just going to kind of jump right into match number 1, so let's go ahead and get right into it, see what match number 1 has to offer. Alright, so our first match is going to be the taking on Ubigtree. Very good. But anyway, let's jump into the match here. We can see Pirate Viking taking on Warlock Ninja. And honestly, no surprise by now that Warlock Ninja, if you see them, you should probably jump on the Awakening train of thought there. A lot of that's been going around lately, and it's kind of still there, even to this day. Well, I mean, obviously, I should mention that this is kind of a little bit of an older footage. By the time you guys are watching this, you probably already have recognized by the shirt, but obviously it's older footage and whatnot. But anyway, to the match itself, I'm going to pause it here because I believe we just kind of went off track a little bit. So, of course, the going aggressive with a Lumberjack, not really having a turn to play. Well, actually, hold on, let me double check that, just because and this is the great thing about rewinds. Yeah, just because I feel like I got off track here. So anyway, starting things off, yeah, it was a turn 1 play. So turn 1 Lumberjack, Ubigtree doesn't really have anything here. As you can see, he doesn't want to Witch Bolt, or else I'd be giving the 2 cards. I'm just going to say I don't know if that's just, anyway, the is going to get a little much for me. Anyway, Unholy Altar, going to go ahead and get placed up. I'm not really in agreement with the placement of that, though. I get how ideally, like, he wanted to keep it away from the Lumberjack so that way he didn't lose any health. I get that. That's fine. But to place it there is sort of, I would rather take the damage than have a spawn point blocked off like that. And even if you're in the same situation, always go for, the prime spawn position. Don't block off these top spawn points, the top and bottom ones here, because these are going to be useful. These are basically what you're coming out of. No one goes back here unless they have to, but, keep it up here or down here, and place the buildings, of course, right back here where you want them. Because now he's messed up his spawn a little bit here, and you'll see how that hurts him later on. But anyway, moving on, we see a con artist get thrown out there, and again, another chip to the castle. Because, I mean, and even then, I should mention that if he wanted to, like, the could have stuck around here and chopped one off. He still would have lost health either way. It just kind of, for some reason, it clicked with me now. So even then, it doesn't really provide any sort of, like, protection rather than, hey, I just blocked off a spawn point. I mean, yeah, he's got the zombies walking up here now, but I don't know. I don't agree with it that much. Anyway, moving on, Ubigtree goes with the Gravestalker to get that Lumberjack right off of his castle. He should move that zombie up, in my opinion. Yep, he does that. But even then, he'll still block off a zombie. So even if that, he's going to get 2 zombies from the Gravestalker, those will be put right here and here. And then again, the altar placement, it wants to summon a zombie, but now can't because there's no space to. So a little bit of a misstep there. But anyway, Con Artist smacks the castle, another 2 damage, and of course, Cannoneer gets bought out thanks to Con Artist Awaken and Combo. So now a big Cannoneer in the earlier stages, or middle stages at this point, I should say. Anyway, Dojo going to come out now. Stalker trades with the Con Artist. Mage Apprentice gets brought up. And, of course, the zombies all move up as well, trying to take down the Cannoneer, I imagine. Cannoneer takes down one of those zombies. Con Artist comes out. So we can tell pretty much the is running more of a ramp-type deck. I mean, probably should expect to see that if you're running Pirate Viking, but still. Ramp deck's another slightly less popular choice, but, still up there in terms of choices, especially if those are the colors to go to. But anyway, as we continue on the matchup here, Ubigtree's got some options. He does get a little extra draw thanks to the Sleeping Dojo Awakening. He's going to chip away that Con Artist a bit there, continue to move the zombies up. Headwood comes out. Now, honestly, I would have liked to see Headwood right here, prime position to play a Rite of Awakening, because he would have gotten a lot of things going on here, but didn't have the right. So he still wants to get the Headwood, I guess, just in case the right shows up. He will lose that Mage Apprentice, though, thanks to Con Artist, as you see there. And Mordok comes out to greet a zombie. Of course, that brings out the Horseman. Loses the Altar, and Headwood does a little damage, or does damage to Headwood, does the Horseman. That's a mouthful. Anyway, Headwood comes back out, or at least Headwood's ability pops off. We see a little bit of damage done to the Mordok. Witch Bolt takes down the Cannoneer, so good removal there. Headmaster looking to pick off the Mordok, which does happen, and again another 2 damage, so we're all pretty tied up now. And here's the thing with Awakening, too. Like, they're very easy to, get themselves out of a ditch if they have the right materials. And this kind of goes for school as well. So, I mean, if you leave them with the right materials, they can bounce back within a matter of seconds. And I feel like that's another reason why Awakening has somewhat taken a reemergence these past few months. Just their ability to quickly recover and bounce back, like how you see here. Originally, the game looked to be in more of the's favor. Again, see what I mean with a double the? Messes you up a little bit. But, yeah, because he was in a tough situation, but now Ubigtree has bounced back thanks to how quickly Dojo can recover things and the draw. Any faction that kind of has a draw going for it like that, like a building draw, has quite the knack to pick itself up momentarily, unless you really beat them down. Anyway, Swordsman to come out after a Headwood right, so more damage on the castle. But now that Swordsman will probably fall, thanks to not the Ronin. I can tell you that much. He's probably he's in a Cloak of Ice. He could have taken it down, but he opts to just freeze it for now, and that's fine. No harm, no foul there. But that's unfortunately the only thing he can play, thanks to how much gold he's got. Anyway, Phantom Strike will take out that Ronin at no cost to the Minotaur's life, I should say. Oh boy, so it's been a while since I've done one of these, so you could feel the rust still in here. Anyway, Headmaster and Gravestalker. Gravestalker does a little bit of a trade there. Saurus follows up. So going for more draw here, I imagine, and the extra bodies to deal with the Minotaur. We'll see the Minotaur. Ooh, take down what exactly? Well, not the target I thought. So double wins. So now we can kind of confirm actually that is playing more of a wins deck with that, which again less popular than the ramp choice, but still you can win matches with it. I'm not saying it's a bad deck by any means. It's a great deck, but not the route I thought this deck was taking. But regardless, wins play. How will Ubigtree respond? He's got a Vampire, which can certainly take down that Minotaur, or just go with the 2 zombies, which I figure he might as well go with. I mean, they're out and they're exposed, so might as well. Ronin comes out, Rite of Awakening, to boost that up a little. Now, I don't really agree with the placement of this Ronin here, considering that you do have a double wins deck and you are in the later stages. This is a great position for a Yarm to strike the Ronin and deal multiple chain damage to the castle. So we'll see if he's got it. Yep, he does. So Yarm comes out, he deals a little bit of damage to the Ronin there, does 2 damage to Ronin and the castle, and then of course does I think 4 in chain damage. So that's the little hint with win decks. That's sort of like their big punch in my opinion. The whole being closer for Yarm chains. Honestly, I feel like I want to do a little more with Yarm, but that's just me, I guess, talking out loud there. Anyway, Ubigtree responds by vampiring that remaining Yarm, which is not really a good idea to do out there, but again, he doesn't really have much of another choice. As you can see, he's going to take more chain damage, going from 10 to 4. And pretty much now, a Lightning Blade cleans up this game, or something along those lines. Dread Pirate comes out, kills off the zombie. Okay. Lumberjack kills the vampire, so it doesn't look like he's got the chain for it just yet, but he is going to put down a lot of units, I imagine. A lot of beef, I should say. Con Artists, Robins, yep. And honestly, he doesn't have a lot, Tree doesn't have a lot of ways to respond to this. He can kill off the Con Artist. Darkness to, I guess, defend himself, but even then, that Robins will take away the zombie, and Minotaur just eats the face. So that is going to be the game to I believe I didn't mess it up that time. Oh, he's going to actually finish in the style of the Yarm chain. Yep, there it goes. A lot of chain. How much chain you going to go? Couple bits? No, not as much. But yes, victory goes to the wins deck, and I mean, what can you really expect? There were a couple of, I mean, maybe not poor plays, but definitely some plays that I didn't agree with. I mean, the altar for one, but that didn't really take too much of an effect throughout the game. You had the, what's it called? The Yarm, which we just saw pretty much. Yarm was pretty much the whole reason why the won the game. Just smacks the unit in front of the castle, and boom, you've got yourself an instant 6 damage to the castle. So, and that does pile on, which we pretty much saw, as the match progressed. So, anyway, a great wins deck from and with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into match number 2 and see what goes down. Alright, in match number 2, it is, I believe, going to be Decoy taking on Allensis. Is that the one I chose? Yes, it was. Alright, so, of course, a Warlock Crusader matchup. Sort of a, mirror match here. Honestly, not surprised. Again, I've been mentioning for a while now, these colors have taken some prominence, and we clearly see that no matter if you're playing ranked or checking on the TV, there's always a good mix of Warlock Crusader on there. But anyway, we'll see how each player takes the matchup here. We're going to start off with Lumberjack and Salahar Rider, it looks like. So a draw for Allen and some damage for Decoy. Not bad, not bad. Of course, a pretty standard way to start things off. But Allen's just going to go ahead and summon the Imp, I imagine, right? Try to get some more damage out there. So my assumption is pretty much Allen's taking more of a burn style approach. Imp, Monk, Flamestorm, things of that nature. And Decoy taking more of the Last Will approach. Salahar Rider, Tarius Files, which actually gets chipped off by the Imp. So that is 3 damage for Allen, but of course 2 additional cards for Decoy. We'll see how Decoy can use those 2 cards as the match goes on, maybe. Lumberjack going to take out that Imp, so more draw for Decoy and a Reinforce as well. So, I mean, not bad. Some pretty standard stuff so far. Can't really say much. Monk comes out, which is, again, Monk is, I think, becoming more of a inclusion into a lot of these burn decks, and I think, it does slightly work out. Monk healing, an injured ally for 3, which you can pretty much target that to be the castle nearly every time. I think that's a good way to repair yourself, especially if you're burning not only your opponent, but also yourself with a couple of cards, Defective Flame Cannon, Flamestorm, if you happen to be running those cards. So, and, the body isn't too bad, 3-5, a little under the Barbarian in attack, but still the same health, so, I think Monk's going to be out there more. I think so. Anyway, Church from Decoy, looking to heal up that 1 bit of damage from his castle. Allen's got the Chaotic Storm, which he looks to be using now. Going to go ahead to, alright, multiple bits of damage to the Church, and enough for a Flamestorm to take it out. So, definitely more of a swing in Allen's favor here, but very early on. Andrew going to come out now. Plus Salahar Rider, alright, so that damage will go towards the Monk, so beautiful, Andrew doesn't have to deal with that Monk, just kind of marching right on through here, and I will admit that it is going to be a little tricky for Allen, and when you're in mirror matchups like this, you tend to be running a couple of, I guess maybe similar cards to a Last Will deck, Salahar Rider, Lumberjack for 1, maybe Banshee, maybe, so, when you match it up with, with another Warlock Crusader, it's definitely good to get an Andrew out first if you happen to have it. But we'll see how Allen can respond to this. So Fear on the Andrew pushes him back a little bit. Brings out the Rally of the Town. Interesting. Now, I'm just going to pause right here for a minute and just think about this. I'm not really sure what the reasoning is behind Rally of the Town. Just going to kind of put it, I don't know why I maybe pause so long in this. I don't know. Rally's an interesting card to play. I'm not really sure what the direction that Allen has for this. But anyway, Priest and Nunchuck Nun will follow suit. So, again, we can further solidify that Decoy is running Last Will here. That Priest does get taken out by the one of the peasants. The other 2 going to trade right into the Andrew. So, Allen kind of setting up for a hopeful blue Firebolt, I imagine. He's in that range, but maybe didn't have anything else for the peasants. Who knows? Anyway, Arcanine General from Decoy, so that is going to be problematic for Allen if he can't get rid of it soon. Because that can either pop the Nunchuck buff ability or the Tarius Files that Allen has on his field, so either one is not good. Anyway, Crack's going to move up now. Monk going to move up as well. Going to try and pursue that Andrew, so Arcanine does have a room here to strike, and he does. So getting 2 cards from the Tarius Files, giving two buffs to 2 Andrews. I had to think about that one for a little. And place Molten Pillar. Interesting. Now, Molten Pillar is a dangerous card to include in Last Will for a few reasons. One, of course, it does deal damage to both sides here. So if you walk too close to it, of course, you are going to get burned as well. But if you do have General, which Decoy does have here, you have the ability to activate the Molten Pillar's last wheel, and that is kind of an explosion dealing damage to everything around you. So you got to be careful, especially if you have a group of units that you don't want to, die. If Arcanine hits hits a unit and procs that ability, you're gonna be taking some damage. So that's kind of the risk that comes with Pillar. But we'll see how Decoy is able to adapt to it, or we'll see how it goes towards his plan. I'm gonna go ahead and disintegrate the Arcanine General over on Alan's side, and Alan will retreat the Craxus. So not wanting to take any sort of pillar explosion damage, telling us that he doesn't really have a way to clear off that pillar. And Swordsman follows up as well, so a little nice beefy unit there. Flamestorm, I imagine, is not the play, but Arbiter comes out, so Arbiter actually will take out the Andrew. Forgot that was sitting in his hand. Pillar, of course, there you see dealing 5 damage, so if anything kind of is around that, 5 damage will be dealt, and that doesn't really bode well for a lot of things on this board. I mean, Craxus just survives that by 2, thanks to the armor, so it's a pretty hefty chunk of life to take out. So Blue Firebolt on the Tarius Files. Okay, I mean, he can't really do that on Craxus, so kind of understanding that. But I guess he doesn't want to tempt him into a Flamestorm, maybe? Anyway, Blue Firebolt taking out the Tarius Files. Oh, alright, I forgot, yeah, because Andrew can then actually make a... Well, I don't think... Was Andrew? No, he wasn't. So Blue Firebolt actually triggers Tarius Files to take Andrew to that extra level to kill off the Craxus. So good kind of board awareness there. And of course, then on Juggernaut. And something I want to mention too. Both of these nuns, or at least this one, has not moved. Which I found strange when watching this match, beforehand. I don't know why the nun just did not decide to move at all. And you'll see as the match goes on, I don't think the nun moves past, like, the 3rd row here at all. It's strange. Flamestorm takes out the Priest, deals a little bit of damage to everything else. Blacksmith, I imagine, going to... Okay, Blacksmith Lumberjack combination will take out Andrew. And then Lumberjack Salahar Rider Chaotic Storm takes out the Swordsman, unless that Salahar Rider does deal damage to Swordsman. We'll see. He get that damage? He will. So no need to do the... well, he's going to use the Chaotic Storm anyway, I guess. 1 on the Pillar, 2 on the Castle, I believe. So both nuns doing alive, but they're also not moving, which kind of annoys me. Because wouldn't you want to move the nuns, get them a little more involved, put some pressure on? Because you could tell right now, Alan is like in a position where if he were to, if Decoy was to run both nuns up, he would have a slightly difficult time dealing with them. I mean, the cards in his hand aren't. I mean, you got Dragon's Fire and Mischievous Imp. And Tarius takes a turn to set up. So, I mean, he is in a little bit of trouble here. But anyway, Tarius from Alan going to go ahead and try and recuperate his hand a little bit, as you can see there. As long as Decoy doesn't have a burn, which he very well could, considering it's his Crusader Warlock, and that's Dragon's Fire. So, I would recommend now pushing the nuns, which you can see he doesn't do. Although he will set up a Tarius Files to get destroyed next turn by the Molten Pillar. So, no need for a Flamestorm when he can just detonate his own Tarius Files. A little creative way to play around that. Priest and Headwood, so yeah, more of the burn evidence from Alan. It looks like things aren't gonna go his way here. He does 3 damage to the to everything on the board with Dragon's Fire. That's a cool pause I ended up on. All the fire coming out. Anyway, Priest won't even be able to take out the Swordsman thanks to his 3 attack. He will be able to give a health to the castle though, but honestly, he is Alan is in a bit of trouble here. Decoy getting those 2 additional cards from Tarius Files before his draw happens. And of course, those nuns still have not moved. Let's see. 4 taken out of the castle. So he's going to try and even out the game a little bit here. Closer to the end, if you will. Cleric, Flame Prince running up. Another Tarius Files looking to detonate thanks to the Molten Pillar. And then we see a Rally plus Armory. So, I mean, he can do Professor Headwood Armory, or Professor Headwood Armory to keep himself alive, but we'll decide to go with the Rally instead, taking a little bit of cleave damage from that Swordsman in the process, and then back over to Decoy. We imagine this is close to finishing. We do have the potential for heals, though, like Church for 1. Arcanine General comes out, slaps the Peasant, gets a Nun buff, so you can see why the nuns were kept back for Arcanine General, but still, you couldn't move 1 up? I mean, I don't know. Rider comes out now from Alan, going to go ahead and chip the Cleric a little bit. Cleric heals the Molten Pillar, and then, of course, Salahar Rider deals that remaining damage to said Cleric. Arbiter comes out, so keeping the game alive a little bit longer. Go ahead, slap the church. Not going for castle damage, just wants to hit the church, just to get rid of the healing, I imagine. So even if he does hit the castle, the castle would have healed up. So looking for sudden death tick here, but Arbiter from the from Decoy's side will take a little bit of castle damage, putting the tides more in, of course, his own favor. Not moving anything else up or around, though. Kind of keeping everything in the same position, just using the Arbiter that turn. Not sure if he just forgot to move the General up a little more or was just hesitant. Regardless, we see another Headwood come into Allen's hands, so he's got to play both of them at this point. There's no other play that he... I mean, he does have a Dark Bender, but I think the Headwoods are more what you want to do, so that way you have the chance of hitting the castle to kind of even out this game, if you will. But on Decoy's side, Dragon's Fire takes out the... takes out the peasant. Blue Firebolt ×2 takes out both Headwoods, and I think at this point it's got to be over for Allen. No, got a Dark Bender, you got a Craxus and a Fear. He can Fear to get a new draw, and maybe play the Craxus afterwards, right? Gets Salahar Rider, all right. Dark Bender plays Salahar Rider. He does chip the Molten Pillar a little bit. Interesting how he just kind of sacks it there. Will destroy one of the nuns, so finally one of those nuns disappear. Still not the one who's been out the longest, though. This nun has been pretty much here the entire game. Weird. Reinforced on Decoy's castle, gets out another Andrew, and follows with the Salahar Rider. That's Salahar Rider and Priest. Okay, so Priest comes out, heals a little bit. Salahar looking to die at the hands of Molten Pillar to buff up Andrew potentially. And Allen, Chaotic Storms. What does he hit? Pillar twice. Oh, and pretty much outright destroys said pillar. So, oh, did that not? Oh, sorry. Did I fast forward? I could have sworn pillar did. So, well, maybe I got it reversed. Maybe it's. I guess pillar deal damage to everything, and then last will is enemy. It's been so long since I've seen a Molten Pillar, so you have to imagine. Anyway, Craxus comes out, does a little damage there, some draw, and I imagine it's over because Decoy has either Burn or Arbiter. Has to. There's the Arbiter, so that is the game in Decoy's win. So overall, very nicely done. Honestly, it was just a, in that scenario, there wasn't. I don't think there was a better matchup. It was more like who just had the better outcomes or who had the better draws in that scenario. And the draws went to Decoy in this matchup. So overall, great match put on by both players. Definitely went a little longer than your average match. But still, great match nonetheless. Let's go ahead and move on to match number 3 now and see what the last match has in store for us. Alright, and our last match is going to be UnhlpfulYoda taking on Drowinger. I hope I pronounce Drowinger. Drowinger? I don't know. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Not sure. So Yoda taking on Drowinger. Looks like to be more of an undead deck. We see the Necromancer in there from Dro's side. And, of course, Yoda, I want to say he's playing Awakened, but you never know. Yoda's got a couple of different decks up his sleeve. So, anyway, oh, cool. There's the Imp. So, great. Thanks for proving me wrong there, friend. From pal. Friendo. Anyway, Unholy Altar. I almost said Unhelpful Altar. Unholy Altar coming out from Drowinger's side. So, looking to produce a couple of zombies. Meanwhile, Yoda taking the early advantage. Going to smack the castle around a little bit. 3 from the Imp, 2 from the Imp Awaken. Daggerstorm comes out now, hits only Imp, unfortunately. So Lumberjack will be kept alive. Drowinger as well playing the Rat Hovel to get himself some more token units. So I think Drowinger may be more of a token-based deck. I mean, Hovel is pretty much every pirate deck, but I guess more of an undead token deck, which is fine. Necromancer comes out now. Of course, those zombies getting a little bit of a buff now at 3 each. Yoda responds with the Blue Firebolt. Takes out one of the spawners, so very good awareness. It doesn't want to keep letting those tokens build up to be more of a, stronger and stronger force, so good to take them out now while you can. Blacksmith's going to go ahead and and buff the remaining tokens currently out on the board. Darkbender from Yoda. So Yoda is in a little bit of a situation here. He's got a couple cards in hand, though, so I feel like he might be able to recover. But Darkbender Arcfire takes out the remaining spawner, but meets a murder for summoning the Darkbender. Of course, all those tokens continuing to move in. One of the rats changes mind, it looks like, but who am I to question the rat, I guess. Headwood going to come out now, plus right, so a little bit of damage, kills off one of those zombies. Second right kills off the blacksmith, appears, so units going back to their 1-1 or pretty much natural attack, except for zombies who get buffed by the Necromancer, of course. Phantom Strike on that zombie will take out Headwood, so looking to kill Headwood rather than take castle damage, which is smart. Doesn't want to leave that Headwood alive to continually pop his Awakening Burn ability. But meanwhile, of course, Panda comes out from Yoda. Will meet the Salahar Rider and Rat, send them back up to the hand. Of course, kills off the zombie, but that leaves both Necromancers currently on the board. Of course, I think one's going to take ahead and go, or one's going to at least go Castle, right, after summoning the, oh, no, I guess I was wrong. I think Necromancer does get in there, though, eventually. Anyway, Rat and Salahar Rider come back out. Horseman joins the fray now, being 5-3 thanks to 2 Necromancers. Shodan comes out, will get, I believe, nothing. Yep, doesn't have anything for that Shodan, so lining him up to be taken out. We see the Mercenary's Execution regardless, so didn't even need the Armory or the units. Gonna go ahead and smack the castle for 5 again, and Yoda is in a bit of trouble here. Of course, Necromancer moves up, Rat and Salahar Rider move in. The Horseman took 5 out of the castle. And is this going to be game over for Yoda? See, Saurus gets the Imp. A little bit of damage there. So he is able to protect himself a little bit, but I think, yeah, that's going to be it. Because even if he's able to, block that, the Salahar Rider, or the Rider damage to castle, unfortunately put the castle within damage, and of course we saw the armory in Drowinger's hands, so he would have been able to power up the Necromancer, moving in and the game. So very nicely done. I imagine Yoda's deck didn't really have strong draw at the moment, but overall a strong win for Drowinger and the Undead tokens regardless. And I think that's going to be a solid way to end off this edition of TV commentary. Alright guys, with that being said, I hope you did enjoy this edition of TV commentary. Let me know what you guys thought of the matches down below in the comment section by leaving your thoughts. Like I said, in that comment section down below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so, be sure to like the video, share it, and of course, hit that subscribe button if you are new or haven't done so already. Show your support to the channel by clicking that subscribe button at no additional cost to you. I feel like I took a longer breath for that one than I normally do, but you know what, that's all good. It is what it is. So, yeah, that's all for me for now. So until next time, guys, stay gaming.